Welcome back to the Predictable Revenue Podcast. I'm your host, Colin Stewart. Today, I'm joined by Ome Ogbru. He's the founder, CEO over at AI Engines, and we're going to talk product market fit. Before we jump in, this episode is brought to you by our Founder for Coaching program. Founders, let's be real. It's scary out there. You got product, revenue, hiring. You're probably running 8 different instances of Cloud Code. If growth isn't the place that you came from and you're looking for a hand, that's where our Founder Coaching program comes in handy. You get somebody like me helping you go through stuff that we've been through before so that you don't have to learn the hard way. If that sounds interesting, shoot me an email. Ome, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Colin. It's a pleasure.
Welcome to the Predictable Revenue Podcast, where sales leaders teach you what's working for them so you can build it yourself. I'm really excited to have you on the show. I want to start with the name. Talk to me about AI Engines and where did that name come from?
So AI Engines stands for AI Narrative Generation and Engagement Solutions. So our focus is helping the biotech, pharma, healthcare, and other parts of life sciences as well use AI and supporting technologies to create what they want to create and to engage their audience and provide the right information, find the right information, and create the different formats that they want to use to communicate scientific information. So that's the narrative part. And the engagement part later on, we'll focus on that as well, is how do they get that information to the end user and how do they make sure that it's tailored to their needs. And we'll address that in future solutions that we're going to develop. AI Engine's name, for weeks, I was trying to come up with names for the company. And finally, I'm like, well, you know what? I need to get some help from AI. So I plugged in, the names of my kids, and I told AI, this is what the company is going to be doing. We're focused on building solutions for the life sciences space, pharma, biotech, healthcare research. And we're going to focus on narratives and engagement solutions. And it gave me 5 options. And one of them was AI Engines. And I immediately went to see if, the domain was available. It was available. And I checked to see if it's not being trademarked. It wasn't trademarked. I'm like, oh, wow, this is it. It works. It fits perfectly. Now, I was calling it Engines. And the idea behind that is an engine of change, of transformation, transforming workflows or taking data and creating different types of content from that data. And also just transforming how these industries work in their day-to-day. That's the idea. So I called it Engines. And then one day I was talking to a family friend and she's like, oh, how's AI Engines doing? I'm like, what? I like that. So from now on, it is AI Engines and it makes a whole lot of sense as well. But nickname, we call it Engines.
Engines. I love that. It's funny how there's all this literature, there's all these things that you can do to create a brand and to pick a name, but it really all comes down to is the domain available? I sometimes feel like a squatter because I've got all these side projects and I'm like, that's a good domain. Oh, that's a good domain. I even have a couple extra domains for the podcast because I was on a call with a client once and predictable was available and I bought that. And I'm like, we're not using that. I probably shouldn't, but it was funny at the time. But yeah, that's amazing. And so talk to me about the idea behind Engines and where did the idea come from?
So I've worked in the biotech pharma space for over 20 plus years. I'm a healthcare professional, a PharmD, a doctor of pharmacy. That's my background. And over the years in these industry, I've noticed that we have a lot of challenges. There's plenty of work to do, not enough resources to do it. When I saw AI, ChatGPT, that's how a lot of us got introduced to it. Even though I had dabbled in machine learning and natural language processing over the years for different types of projects and problems that I wanted to solve. When I saw ChatGPT, I'm like, whoa, there's something good here. And as it turned out, in late 2023, I was laid off from my role as the head of global and U.S. medical information at a pharma biotech company called Biogen. And as I was thinking about what's my next move, what am I going to do next? Am I going to stay in the industry? Am I going to do something else? And I decided to look back to the ideas that I've jotted down over the years of problems that I wanted to solve and how I may be able to solve them. And coupled with this new generative AI technology, the idea just popped into my head that it's time. It's time for you to do something different. You know what the problems are. You know what the gaps are. You have the expertise. You have the knowledge. You felt the pain. And you know a thing or two about technology. and building teams. Once that idea popped into my head that, all right, I'm going to take AI technology, figure out what other solutions are needed so that it's applicable to workflows in this industry, pharma, biotech, and related life sciences industries, then that's what I'm going to do. And coupled with that, we're going to make it easy for people to be able to adopt this technology. Not 8, 9 months, years of building solutions. And then at the end of the day, they may not even work for what you wanted to do. And so that's how the idea came about. And once I thought about it, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do. I told my career counselor, I love you, but I don't need you anymore. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm going to build a company. That's the next thing I'm going to do. And he's like, do you have an idea? I'm like, oh boy, do I have an idea
I
of
have
what
all the
I'm going to
ideas.
do. Yeah, and and that was it. And I told my wife the same thing. She's like, how's the job search coming? I'm like, oh, I stopped. She's like, what? You stopped? Yeah, I stopped. I'm going to build a company. And she didn't think I was serious, but I was so serious. And from then on, it's like, all right, how do I build a company? Where do I start? What do I need to do? That's what I've been doing since for the last 2 years.
That's amazing. I imagine going from such an incredible background in the space and then looking at ChatGPT and going, okay, we could do anything. It is such a huge space. Like you said, there's so much work to be done. AI brings a layer that is extremely helpful. There are thousands of different companies that could be started with kind of somebody with a background like yours. How did you decide on, the first thing that you wanted to focus on?
Yeah, so I started, what do I know? What do I know well? Right. So, and because throughout my roles in the life sciences industry, the one thing that was always there in all the roles, either, as someone who's doing the work or managing a team that did the work, the one thing that was present is taking scientific information and translating that into content that people can understand and digest and communicating that information. Because no matter how great your data is, if you cannot communicate it to people, if you can't get into their hands, tell them the so what, how does it apply to patients and the value that they should derive from that data, it's worthless. It's just data. That work, it's a lot of work to do that. And this is what biotech pharma companies do every day. They're content creation machines
Hmm.
in different ways. And it takes a long time to do. It takes expertise as well. And there's significant cost that's associated with that. And since I've lived that pain and also the pain of not having enough resources, and not even to talk about, okay, what are some other innovative things that we could do? The resources just were not there. But with the technology today now, especially with generative AI technology, a lot of these things are possible. But when you look at what's available, they're general purpose solutions. ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, there's so many of them. They're general purpose solutions to really transform a workflow at a company. You really need to understand how people work, how they want to work, and the outcomes that they want to derive from that. So I decided that, all right, this is what I know well. It's a well-recognized pain. That is what I'm going to focus on.
Very cool. So when you made that decision, what came next? Was it, I am going to go talk to some people? Did you know some folks in the space? Did you just start selling? Did you do validation? Like, help me understand what the next step of the journey was.
The next step of the journey was, all right, what do I need to be able to do this? So I know the pain. I have that down. That's no problem. I have a good idea of how to solve it. But the next thing was I had to do some research, see what's out there already. And there wasn't anything like what I was envisioning. The second step of that process is, well, I don't know how to.
Kind of important.
I
Kind of.
understand and use a lot of technology, but I can't build a platform. So I have to find experts that can help me do that. So that research took a while. The first tries were not successful. Just did not, we're not the right fit with the vision that I wanted. But interestingly enough, I used AI once again, and I found a team and built a team that had the same vision and the same passion that I have that could fill that development role for me. Once we signed that contract and had a clear path to where we're going to go, the rest was just time. Of course, you have to think about how you're going to fund it as well.
Mhm.
So AI Engines is self-funded. I'm funding it. So that comes into the consideration also. How is this, going to be paid for? But I figured that out. And we started building our first product, which is called MACG, MACG, which stands for Medical Affairs Content Generator. It's an evidence-first platform. By that, we're using the concept of the professional is the expert, not the AI. The AI is there to help them based on the direction and the information that's provided by the expert. So if you look at a lot of platforms, they're trying to get AI to do everything, and it usually doesn't work very well. But to really transform a workflow, you need to put the expert in charge and build a platform that supports them in transforming that workflow as much or as little as they need. So MACG is evidence first, comprehensive platform that supports critical time-consuming steps in the content creation workflow. So we've built tools in there and agents into the platform where a professional who wants to create scientific information and content can search for literature, so that's the evidence, or bring in information they already have, like scientific papers, for instance, or anything else that they want to use to create that content. Has a citation, an automatic citation generation tool as well, so that everything they created is grounded in the evidence that they provided. And they can see that the information that the AI is using, the platform is using, is from the information that they provided. Plus, it's also cited in a scientific format as well. So they don't have to do that painful work. It's actually a proprietary citation generation tool that we built that puts the superscripts as well as the full citation. You can create a bibliography just by a click of a button. You can move citations around. You can add new ones if you wanted to. And users really, really love that feature. And even if you move content around, it'll automatically reorganize your citation list as well. So it's got PubMed search. It's an image tool in there as well for diagrams. There's a slide generator as well agent that's also built into it as well. And lots of other things that really help them work better using the assistance of technology.
I love that. And so I'm curious, where did your first customers come from?
That's a good story. In early 2024, is it 2024? Oh, no, 2025. January 2025. Well, the first step was when we built the first version of it, I invited a few of my friends and colleagues to test it out. Just, private access. And the feedback was amazing. And some of the comments was like, oh, wow, this is the best that we have seen. There's really something here and you have to keep going because we really need a product like this. So that was the first time I knew that, all right, I'm really onto something. I'm not, in my office just imagining things. This is a real problem and we have a potential solution. And then in early 2025, we announced the first version of MACG. Now, MACG has two offerings. One is the web version of it, a web subscription model. And the reason for that is, remember I told you we wanted to make it easy for people to use it, right? So no long development cycles, right? So a web version is important in that, one, people can just go there and test it, right? And see if it's fit for them. And then if you want an enterprise version, we can talk about that. But you can subscribe right online and use MACG. And it's very important because there are a lot of small businesses, solo entrepreneurs like medical writers, for instance, bloggers who need a solution that works for them. They cannot afford an enterprise platform like MACG. So the web version is there for them. So when you say my first customer, there are two types of customers, right? So here we are, 2025, we've announced MACG, press release has gone out. All right, now I want thousands of people to come and use the platform. Dead silence. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna work. No one is coming. So every day I'll check. Nope, no one signed up yet. Nope, no one signed up yet. But I think about 3 or 4 weeks after we had made the announcement, I remember I was watching a movie with my wife, and I just happened to look at my email. And there it was, the first subscriber. I'm like, yes, I just shouted so loud. My wife's like, what? I'm like, I have a subscriber. That is the most valuable $20 received. And I'm like, okay, if I got one, I can get more.
Yeah.
And eventually, people started trickling in and subscribing and paying their $20 I'm like, oh yeah, we got something going. Getting feedback, giving us feedback, which we use to improve the platform. There are
Mhm.
thousands of people on the platform now. And now a lot of people don't even use the free trial. They just subscribe for a year. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And they're now subscribing for the higher plans as well. So we know we have something going. The next customer is the enterprise customer. Right. So I went to some trade shows, talked to folks, did some demos, got feedback from them. The sales cycle in this industry is very long. Does not
Mhm.
happen overnight. And I learned that there are many internal processes you have to go through before you even get to that procurement. Going through their privacy, security, and all of those evaluations, vendor qualifications, and all of that. It takes a while to do. But the initial customer came from a relationship I had previously with a large pharma agency. I was their client when I was still in the industry. And so I reached out to them. Hey, I built this tool. I think it's really going to work for you because we built it with you in mind. You're the kind of
Mhm.
work that you do. And they're like, yes, we want a demo. So I gave them a demo. They were very impressed by it. And it's taken months to get to where we're actually going to sign the deal now, but that's coming very soon. So that's the first customer. The second customer is a large pharma company. And this is also from a relationship that I had as well. This individual had a consulting firm of their own, and they were a consultant for this pharma company and brought up MacG as a potential solution for them. And they hopped on the web, they tried it out, and we're going to be signing that deal as well very soon.
Very exciting. So first customer on the called the consumer side of the consumer play came from a press release, a couple weeks after a press release, maybe.
Yeah, so how they found us, I don't know, because they never
Okay,
responded. Because I
fair.
wanted to find out from them, well, how did you find us? And, what do you
Right?
do? But they did not respond.
I
But
hate
they're
that.
still with us. They're still with us. They're still using the platform and still paying. But they did not tell us. But most likely, it's probably from maybe a LinkedIn, probably from a LinkedIn post. It could be from a YouTube post. It could be from a number of different ways. But, they found us and they're still using the platform. The second one was from a relationship that I previously had,
Yeah,
small business that supports pharma and the biotech industry. They're still on the platform.
right on. I launched a new product last year and I put the built the payment infrastructure up, but I wasn't expecting to sell it, but it was there and somebody clicked buy in January and I didn't notice until we were going through the books in February. And my accountant's like, "Hey, there's an extra $250 here. Do you know where that came from?" And I was like, "Oh, like I spent 250 and you can't find it." She's like, "No, there's 250 in revenue from Stripe and I can't find it." Like we don't sell anything for 250. And it took me a minute to realize, oh, and then like you, I reached out to that customer on LinkedIn over email, multiple times over email, and they never replied to me. And then they showed up to a roundtable I did, like a virtual roundtable, and I asked them, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna drop you an email." Never replied to me. I'm like, why? You liked me enough to buy my thing, to be my first customer. I just want to know, like, what was it? No
Yeah.
reply. Like, come on.
But hey, you got your 250, so
I shouldn't complain, but I will because I'm petty. So on the enterprise side, first customers came from relationship. Obviously, like that's a harder play if you don't have those relationships, if you haven't, been in this space for a while and you can't just open doors like that. And then first customers came on the consumer side came from the, maybe the PR, maybe your LinkedIn. Where did you find the next sort of consistent flow of customers started coming from on the consumer side of things?
so I think a lot of it now is coming from multiple places. I've found out that for the web version of it, our YouTube channel, using YouTube and just showing what the platform does and the problem that it can solve and any new features that we've added. A lot is coming from there. There's a big interest in the slide generator agent that we've built into the platform, and showing those videos is bringing a lot of people. The other way people are finding us is just from doing an AI search. And this is for the enterprise as well,
Hmm.
because I'll get a request for a demo and I say, hey, how did you find us? They're like, oh, yeah, we just searched using AI and you came up. I'm
Wow.
like, wow, I've not done anything to even target that. So I'm like, okay, good. And I can now see hits on our web analytics of people coming through ChatGPT, Gemini, just about all the perplexity. So somehow AI has decided that we fit the bill for what a lot of these people are looking for. LinkedIn as well. I do post on LinkedIn. I'm not very good at it. I need to be better at using LinkedIn. But I do see people coming from there and people liking the things that we post. Our following is growing as well. But the big initiative for us this year, since the product is really, really good now, and we can tell just by people signing up and how long it takes them to sign up. But a big thing for us this year is actually putting effort towards promoting the platform. So I've actually hired a PR firm to help us do that and to, really tighten up our language, make sure that we're really fitting into the stories of today in the space that we're working in. Their work has just started, but I think that's what's going to get us the visibility that we want and that third party validation and attestation. I think a lot of it is it's going to be from the work that this PR team is going to do.
Interesting. I'd love to talk to me about why PR, because most startups I talk to, PR is one of the last things they do. But it seems like you've gone back to the well twice. You had, an initial PR release when you launched the first version of the product, and now you've got a full PR firm. Is this something that's specific to biotech, to pharma, and just the way that customers tend to discover new products? Or is this an inside secret that only Ome knows and doesn't want to tell us?
No, it's not an inside secret at all. And when I say PR, I mean a PR firm. So it's more than press releases. It's really positioning the company, really telling the story of the company and the value and where it fits. See, in the AI world, there's a lot out there. There's a lot. And customers need to filter through all these different offerings. And my competition from what customers are telling me, it's not fellow startups like me, like AI engines. It's the co-pilots. It's the Geminis. It's the big established companies that, oh, and by the way, we're winning. That's my competition. And I don't have the resources and the share of voice that they have and the brand recognition that they have to get there and compete with all the noise and be visible amongst all this noise. I'm going to need something more than, a YouTube post here and there, a LinkedIn post here and there. I need a machine that can really focus on this to get me into that narrative and into that news cycle and into that discussion. So that's why I went to that route of, okay, this is not something I can do on my own. I actually need experts to support me in doing this. Because where AI engines, where we plan to go is not I have a deal here or there, is we are leading the conversation. That's where we want to go. AI engines, we wanted to become that household name that these companies talk about. We want MacG to become, I want to create content. I'm going to go ask MacG. That kind of branding requires a lot of effort and expertise behind it. So that's why we went that route. We want to be big. We want to be, because we already see that we're winning against the big guys, which means we have a product that's more fit for purpose for what these teams want to do. So now we have to get it out there.
Incredible. So initial customers came from network, maybe a little PR. Now customers are coming from, your existing PR pipeline. Now I'm curious, what comes next for MacG, for AI engines?
So AI engines, the vision is we want to be able to build, or we want to build those evidence-first solutions that really transform workflows. Not just one solution, right? Because there are a lot of problems. One solution is not going to do it. But at the same time, we want these solutions to be integrated. So the vision is you have a platform like a MacG, for instance. It solves a lot of problems. But there are different teams that may have a similar problem, but there's a nuance. Do you need to build another platform just for that? Not necessarily. Our concept is that if you put the right tools inside MacG, or you build something else that's integrated with MacG, you can have all the teams using one platform, all integrated, fewer vendors for IT to have to deal with, right? The quality is there, it's streamlined, and everyone is working from the same platform with tools and workflows that support what they specifically want to do. So to answer your question, from where we are now, we'll continue to build. We'll continue to listen to our customers, see what problems they want to solve. If our current solution can't solve it, what else do we need to do that's different? but
Mhm.
with that same concept of it needs to be integrated. Because when I was in pharma biotech, one of the biggest issues we had was we had too many systems and none of them, they were all disconnected. And that's why we built MacG the way it's built, so that you don't have to go to five, six different solutions just to get your work done. On
Mhm.
one platform, you can get it all done. So we have a lot of building to do because our customers are already telling us that, hey, can you do this? Like, not yet, but wait, it will.
I love it when a customer asks me to do a very specific, very hard thing. I'm like, that's when you know you're being integrated into their workflow. They're like, hey, I need this to, when I push this button 3.5 times, it has to trigger this thing. And you're like, why the hell would you want to do that? Because this is how the process works. And like, I love hearing that. It means product market fit. It means kind of there's active usage. People are using it enough to complain about it. And that's like one of the first greatest, support tickets you get is like, hey, your product sucks. I hate it. And I'm using it every day. Also, I want to give you more money. I want you to talk to me about the moment you realized you had product market fit.
Yeah. So that came in a number of ways. It came from the initial testers when they were so giddy about what we had built. So that was the first sign. The second sign was when we got that first $20 subscription. Like, all right, we're on the right track. And then when companies started approaching us and saying, hey, we want to use your platform, do a demo for us. But by the way, we want to be a partner to help you promote this. We're like, okay, we have something good going here.
Hmm.
And we need to, take the feedback, continue to work on it, continue to refine it. And then the first time I heard from a customer, and this is one of the ones that we're going to be signing up with, when they said, yeah, our choice is between you and Copilot, and we went with you. I'm like, oh my God, we got it. We got this thing nailed down. And
Yeah.
along the way, other customers, I think one of the ones that really stuck with me the most is when they looked at it, they're like, wow, this looks like something that was built by a multi. Yes, that's exactly the reaction I'm looking for. So all these things told us that one, we're on the right path. Two, we've done something really incredible. And with time, we'll make it even way, way much better.
I love that. Omi, I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing more and sharing about the AI Engines product and the story and where it all came from. If people are curious and they want to find out more about you, the product, what's the best place for them to reach out to?
A number of places. The first one is go to AIengens.com. So that's AINGENS.com. You can access the product from there, or you can go directly through macg.ai, MACG.ai. I'm always hanging on LinkedIn, so you can find me there as well. And reach out, drop me a note, connect. Happy to learn from you, see what you're trying to do, and to see if AI engines and MacG can support.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Omi.
Thank you, Colin.
Right on. And thanks to everybody for listening. We'll catch you all next time.